foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered in the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom. And this was recently, I'll say about like an hour or two ago. And this is a news article from abcnews.go.com, and this is published by Ben Geltson as of February 10th, 2023, 4:21 p.m. Eastern Time, and it reads, it says, U.S. shoots down a highly altitude object over Alaska, White House says. And it says the White House said on Friday that a high-altitude object has been shot down over Alaska. President Joe Biden ordered the shutdown, spokesman of John Kirby. John Kirby adding that the origin of the object has not yet determined. And it says, responding to reporters shouting questions about the shoot down Friday afternoon outside the White House, it says afternoon outside the White House, Biden called it Operation a success. This comes just days after the U.S. shut down a Chinese surveillance balloon last Saturday, following a political firestorm. It says John Kirby says the object was about the size of a small car. It was flying at about 400,000 feet. And it says, he said, because it poses a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight, that out of the abundance of caution and at the recommendation of the Pentagon, ordered the military to write down the object as a state. It says, ABC News Global Affairs component Martha Radas first reported. It says when the fires were crumbled, the pilot did visually got images and said there was no sign of the object as preposterous, if I pronounced that right. It was described as a circular core, and silver is gray. Silver is gray.
Jeffrey Jones to 103rd and Stony Island.
Airspace and over territorial waters. It says fighter aircraft assigned to the U.S. National Command took down the object within the last hour. It says we don't know who owns the object. He said the object came to the U.S. attention Thursday evening. Kirby said it did not appear to have a capability. He said it was virtually at the whim of the wind. It says fighter's aircraft checked if it was manned and determined it writer said the object was detected by ground radar, and it said it was shut down at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time. It says recovery sources are moving to the site, according to Ryder, including the HC-130, the search and rescue versions of the C-130 plane, as well as the HA-60 and CH-47 aircraft. It says Biden has come under fire from Republicans and some Democrats. It says for not acting sooner to shoot down a Chinese surveillance balloon flying at 60,000 feet and first entered the U.S. U.S. airspace, let's say, over Alaska on January the 28th. Even eventually flew over below 48 states before being taken out off the South Carolina coast. And it says Alaskan Republican Senator Dan Silverman said, statement, he was brief about the Pentagon officials Friday morning. It says, I have been doing for the past week, including a classified briefing with Senate Pentagon officials yesterday. I strongly encouraged the Northcom commander this morning to shoot down this latest identifying intrusion into Alaska's airspace. I commented them for doing so today, Silverman said the actions takes to help reestablish deterrence towards China. Right, so that's more tensions towards China. You know, after a few days ago, or it's getting close to a week after the recent shoot downs of the spy balloons with the Biden administration or the U.S. military calls it, you know. I believe there's a similar article to this as well too. I believe the Republicans told Joe Biden, I told you so. I believe I think it's one of Henry's news articles. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just let this play. Since I wasn't.
Another aircraft of some sort, airship, balloon, something was shot down today. Who owns it? What were the circumstances? Was the president directly involved in ordering this? And is wreckage being recovered?
Okay, so I'm going to try. Remind me if I forget something. Yes, the president absolutely was involved in this decision. He ordered it at the recommendation of Pentagon leaders. He wanted it taken down, and they did that. They did it using fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command. The Pentagon will have more to say about the details of this later on this afternoon. It's only just within the last hour. We're calling this an object because that's the best description we have right now. We do not know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned. We just don't know. We don't know. So I said state-owned. We don't know if it's state-owned, and we don't understand the full purpose. We don't have any information that would confirm a stated purpose for this object. We do expect to be able to recover the debris since it fell not only within our territorial space, but on what we believe is frozen water. So a recovery effort will be made, and we're hopeful that it'll be successful, and then we can learn a little bit more about it.
Was its appearance like the Chinese aircraft?
No, it was much smaller than the spy balloon that we took down last Saturday. The way it was described to me was roughly the size of a small car, as opposed to a payload that was like 2 or 3 buses size, right? So much smaller, and not of the same, no significant payload, if you will.
And lastly, is it now the policy of the United States that if unidentified aircraft are over U.S. territory, that it is likely the president will choose to shoot it down?
The president will always act in the best interest of our national security and in the safety and security of the American people.